most successful year in her entire online career. So why does she describe it as the darkest time in her entire life?
God damn.
I'm Anthony.
That's when she started appearing on the Fear Ant podcast. That's why.
Yeah. And I'm gonna find out the truth from QTCinderella herself. Hello, Blair.
Hi.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Visit BetterHelp.com.
Thing about this of it,
Yeah.
they do a lot of
Show and events on Twitch. You put on so many events.
I do that.
I didn't know it was possible to just make up an award show. And you just made up an award show.
I did. My whole thought process going into it was, okay, there's a lot of award shows in the space. Without ruffling any feathers, they do feel a little out of touch.
Yeah.
A few of them I think have just like kind of gotten lost in the production part of it. They've been outsourced too far that creators aren't a part of it, and there's no insight, there's no pulse in the community. The cool thing about this one is a lot of people that I hadn't even met came to it because it was open nominations from the community. So it starts like you can vote for anybody you want. It is, which is really nice. I do have a panel, but it's not a panel that's like, okay, here are your 4. And then people look at it and they're like, where the heck did that come from? And it's because I am only one person. I wish I knew.
Yeah. How about having sex with one of the winners of your award show? How about that? Huh? Is that what other award shows are missing? Huh? Is that what they're missing? They should be having sex with one of the winners? That's right.
Every nook and cranny of the internet. I don't, but I want to. I really do. I want to meet new people. I want people that you'd never imagine in the same room together. I think that's great. You know, I wasn't too popular in high school. I never really felt like I fit in anywhere, and even in this industry.
Are you accusing QT of having sex with Ludwig? Really? Yes, that's right. I am.
I felt like, man, they look like they're having so much fun. I wish I got invited, or like, I wish I could be a part of that. I wish I could be a part of that. And so I was like, well, if I'm not getting invited to stuff, why don't I just invite people? I've always my entire life wanted to feel included. And so if I can be that person that makes other people feel included, I'm going to do anything I can to be that person. This episode is coming out almost right before the announcement for the next one.
Oh, shit.
So a little leaksies.
Are we leaking it right now?
It's going to be on March 11th.
Oh, shit. March 11th, the second annual.
The second annual Streamer Awards.
And the first one was so successful.
It was.
It had, what was it, 380,000 concurrent viewers?
My goal was 100,000.
And you over tripled that.
One of my things that made me so mad, like the negative feedback, people would be like, oh, she only invited her friends. And I'll be like, I didn't even know that person's name. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, so that was one of the hardest things about it was Ludwig won Streamer of the Year.
Yeah.
And I think he deserved it, genuinely.
But people would say that because you have a connection to him that you made that happen.
And it was actually so sad because I have this part of running an event and wanting it to just be perfect. And I know who wins, you know, the day of. I know, I see the numbers. And I'm staring at it and I'm like, oh no. Like, I'm so, like, stressed as an event coordinator because I'm like, people are just going to say that I gave this to him. And I was like, okay.
How do I feel now? Oh, you think, oh, I'm sorry. You think my convictions have changed because she's sad? Huh? You think my convictions have changed because she's sad? You crazy? I stand by my statements.
I could change it. I could change the name.
Did you think about, like, making sure that your partner did not win?
Yeah, I could. And
Yeah.
I sat there and I thought about it. I said, I could change the name. I have
And
power
she
to
should
do
have
this,
done it.
But I'm not going to, because if I were to touch that, I could never say my hands were clean. And that's the whole point of, like, the sanctity of my show. I don't want I didn't even vote for.
Also, I can say that because I'm friends with both of them. I love both of them. And also, I also think that Ludwig deserved to win. So, you know, obviously I'm fucking kidding.
My own show.
I don't think a single person that says it, at least in like the streaming space, says it as a serious thing.
Right.
Like, and some people won that I probably wouldn't have voted for because I didn't know them, but that's the whole reason. I don't want to touch it.
And I think that's what's going to make your award show stand out from the rest is that I think a lot of people do not have faith in other award shows to actually award the person who the audience wants to win. And that's what it's about, right? Because a lot of award shows award people who will get them more exposure, who
will show up.
will show up. Because
No,
you don't
tons
want to
of
give an
people-
award to someone that doesn't show up,
Tons
right?
of people won that weren't there. Like I had 2 people that didn't send in videos, and I was like, whatever.
It's not about that.
It's not
right?
about that. I don't want to mess with the sanctity of celebrating these people. I never would, just for the sake of getting views. The stream.
I mean, I didn't get robbed. It was my fault. I didn't even promote it. It was like fan voting, and I didn't do that. So
Streamer Awards was supposed to be, I was going to do it with XQC. I was going to do it on his channel
Yeah.
and host it with him. And Pokimane is the one who like really encouraged me to do it on my channel. She's like, you will get views. You will be fine. And then I kind of came to the conclusion like, oh, I wanted a female host because in this industry, a lot of the times the male gets the light and then you become the shadow
Sexism!
because
Yeah.
women are accessories.
Well, Pokey even told me.
why didn't you think about doing it on my channel? Why XUC's? My channel would have gotten you views too. What the fuck? That's bullshit. Also sexism. Also Pokimane did this. The fuck?
That's why she doesn't want to talk about any relationships that she's in,
Yeah,
because
she's a genius.
especially if she dates someone that's also in the industry or on the internet in some way, people will say, oh, she only got here because of that.
I never wanted to date someone in the industry because of that. And I accidentally, he's
It
so
happens.
charming.
That charming motherfucker.
I know. I really tried not to.
You were like, no.
We were friends for a very long time. He's great though. So.
But in the back of your head, when you started dating Ludwig, you were like, people are going to think that I'm only where I am because of him.
I get it all the time. I've worked so hard to make my own name. I really have. In every.
Yeah, the funniest part, of course, is that like both of them were small streamers when they started dating, and as a matter of fact, Ludwig was a smaller streamer than QTCinderella was when they started dating. So technically, QT made Ludwig. That is true. And then QT gave Ludwig an award. Never forget that. Never forget that QT made an award show and then Ludwig won an award. Okay, I'm just saying. Oh, look at me. I'm YouTube's favorite son. Oh, look at me. I throw massive events with 300,000 people watching them. No! Nepotism, baby. All right, let's continue.
Every industry I've ever been in, I really try. I'll be introduced to people as Ludwig's girlfriend.
What?
Yeah, I've been introduced on podcasts, like introducing Ludwig's girlfriend.
Wow, that feels great, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, and so it sucks because I am my own person. I have my own career. I made my own career before I ever met him. I've worked really, really hard to be my own person. It's sad because when he is streaming and he says he's hungry and I'm streaming, 500 people come in and tell me to get him a sandwich or get him something. It's sad because it just happens in this industry a lot. Like a lot of the
That's
time,
so
I'll
fucking
be like,
annoying.
Oh, Alex is coming, and they'll be like, "Who's Alex?" And I'll be like, "Oh, she has red hair. She's short. She streams like variety." And they're like, "I don't know her." And then I'm like, "Pay Money Wubby's girlfriend." And they're like, "Oh," and you're like, "God damn it!" Like this is new that Reddit has started breaking down on these. But if you are a female streamer, you will get clips of you walking away from your desk, and they will be sexualized, no matter what you're wearing. No matter what's happening, no matter if you sell sexual content or not, they'll decide it's sexual. And at one point, you could type in any female streamer on Reddit and put NSFW, and there would be a Reddit either editing deepfakes of them, tributes of them, all sorts of things against your will being completely sexualized because you're on the internet. But luckily, because people have been so vocal about it, like I did a few interviews probably a year ago about it.
Yeah.
Reddit's finally cracked down on them. They're harder to find.
Oh.
I was very bullied. I had a hard time growing up. I had a very thick skin,
Yeah.
but streaming it's next level. It's hard. Growing up is hard. Did you guys know that?
I've heard it's hard. I've heard from a few people it's hard.
I grew up.
That's
I
a
grew up
Swiftie
very
right
poor.
there.
Number one. And it would lead to some awkward things. Like when I went to junior high, one defining weekend is they invited me to the mall. I had never seen an Abercrombie before. I had never seen a Hollister before because I shopped at Walmart. That's where I got my clothes. Yeah, Walmart, Kmart, Target was a little expensive, but we go there sometimes. I was just accolades behind, and everybody made sure of it. Plus, I was Mormon. I was Mormon. A lot of my friends were not. And
Okay.
so they just wouldn't invite me to parties because they didn't want to bring the Mormon girl to a party.
Why? Because they didn't want to corrupt you, or because they didn't want you to
me
bring the
judge
party?
them.
Oh, okay.
Which I would never do is the sad thing, but they're just like Mormons can't drink, Mormons can't swear, we don't want her around us.
As a Mormon, didn't you experience getting judged more yourself?
So that's the other aspect is
You're joking, right? Please tell me you're joking. You're just trying to manipulate me. I'm not buying this bullshit. Yeah, no wonder she thought Ludwig was a jock with that background.
Is, you know, I'm raised Mormon, and you're
Oh, he said
never
I'm joking.
good enough. That is the thing about Mormonism. You are never going to be good enough. I actually recently, on my stream, we watched your interview with ex-Mormons.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, they didn't even get into the thick of it. But I think it's because it's hard to, you don't want to, like, I have a lot of family that's still Mormon, and I would never want to offend them. Even if my family watches this, I do think it's a cult. Being outside of it now, I think it's very scary.
Many people refer to it as a cult.
Yeah, if you do one of those, like, BuzzFeed quizzes, is it a cult? It's a cult. Like, it checks nearly all the boxes. You get new names, you get, you know, you sing, your whole entire community revolves around it. They try to keep you as busy as possible. It's a lot. It's your everything. My dad was very religious. My mom was still religious, but she never judged. Even if she was like, I'd rather you go to church, she didn't make you feel like, oh, I need to try harder. And so, as pathetic as it sounds, over my entire course of my life, my mother was the only one that was, she was the only one that made me feel like she was there for me.
And that you were enough as you were.
Yeah, and I didn't have to change anything. I didn't, you know, I was too poor, I was too ugly, or I was too whatever. She was the only one. And so that was really hard for me. And it's interesting what that does to you, because she was also such a supportive person. Like, I was a cheerleader, and she would come watch me cheer. You know what I'm saying? Like, she would go to all of my brother's basketball games. Her children were her life. And so it's sad for me now, because I know she would love to be in my chat being like, what is Peepo frog? Like, you know, she would love it. And she'd be the only person in my family that I would feel comfortable watching me. And so it's just sad. It's sad. And when she passed away, she was very much so in debt. Like, most people get inheritance, right?
Yeah.
My inheritance was paying off her debt. Like, it was sad. And now I'm at a place in my life where it makes me so sad, because I'm like, man, I could probably buy her a house if I wanted to, you know? And now I don't have that opportunity, and it's gut-wrenching, and I think about it all the time. And so, like, my dad will mention, like, a hat that he wants, and I'll just buy it for him. Like, I don't want to, like, just take it, you know,
No
like,
regrets,
I have this
right?
thing.
You don't want to look at it later.
She was the most real person in my entire life. And I mean real as in, like, she would text me all the time. She'd call me every single day, like, almost too much, to the point that, like, sometimes she'd call and you roll your eyes, like, oh, Mom, I'm fine. Like, she was overbearing at times, but it came from a place of, like, she just wanted to be a part of your life so badly. And then to go from someone like that, that's there all the time, like, there for you if you need anything, to silence, oh, it's surreal. Like, it is crazy. And
you didn't know at the time how much that was benefiting you and helping you.
You never realize, I think, until it's gone. Until sometimes you don't notice that the music is on until it's off, right? And so it's just like, why is it so quiet all of a sudden? Where, like, you don't have that person checking in on you. You don't have that person that cares if you got home safe, if you whatever. And I feel lucky knowing that, like, some people never have that person. At least I had her for however many years of my life. But it sucks, because that age, early 20s, that's when you finally become friends with your parents, right?
Yeah, they're a peer now.
And I was just barely getting there. I was just barely getting to that point, and it's just so sad. At her funeral, I gave a speech. I don't remember what I said, besides my intro, and I counted to 5. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, I just got through the last 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just got through the last 5 seconds. 'Cause sometimes in life, that's all you can do. And it's so sad. But, you know, good job, you got through the last 5 seconds. So let's celebrate that. Like, let's do what we can. And that's all you can do. And I cry about it, but it's just like, it's just such profound loss. Like, and that's the difference between, it's funny, because I watched your interview with Ludwig, and Ludwig, you know, Ludwig had a dad that passed away, and he's like, yeah, my dad passed away. And I'm like,
it was such a cliff note, right?
Yeah, like, you know, and it's just, everything affects people differently, and every relationship is so different.
Do you feel almost a sense of relief when you do get a little cry out? Because it's like a little bit of that pent up emotion.
Who knows? It's so nuanced, right? Because then like, I don't get embarrassed when I cry about it, but it is like, one time, probably one of the worst things that happened early on in my career. I had a group of people, because I was having like a bad day on stream. This is when I had like 50 viewers. And I had a group of like 10 very loud people that decided, your mom didn't actually die. She made it up for attention. It was a bunch of people, they like bombarded me. They're like in a Discord, and one day they just attacked me.
Do you try to ignore it, or what do you do?
I think I ended stream, and they came back a few days in a row. Yeah, I could show you her death certificate and then dox myself. Like, is that what you want me to do? Like, it's just crazy. People on the internet,
Dude, that's, again, average experience for a female content creator, just a woman on the internet being a woman. Straight up. Holy fuck.
just can decide anything, and they can just use that to sharpen their knives, and it's just...
All you can do is ignore it, because
Yeah.
if you bring attention to it, then it perpetuates
Yeah.
that this is an okay thing to do, and that more people should go ahead and do that if they want your
It's
attention.
so sad. Yeah. The
Yeah.
internet's a dark place. When I started streaming, I was working a full-time job, and I would come home and I'd play League of Legends for like 5 hours, because
Yeah.
that was my chill.
Right.
But then I started feeling guilty. I'm like, oh, this isn't productive. So then I was like, I might as well stream if I'm playing League.
I never knew this about QT until this very moment, which is strange because I do spend a lot of time with her, love her, and am, you know, good. I would consider myself close friends with her, but that is literally how I started streaming as well. And just like QT, I'm also dog shit at video games. Maybe not even as bad as how bad she is at League of Legends, to, you know, lighten the mood up a little bit. After many, many years of playing, she still is ranked bronze, I think. But that's a fun little tidbit. She's better at League than you are at Val. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
League of Legends. Let me stream and at least feel productive. I was also really lonely at the time. This was like right after my mother had passed away. And so I was like, I just want to talk to people, like whatever. It's almost the opposite of parasocial. I was parasocial with my chat. I needed people. And
This is literally, I mean, same. Damn, she liked me for real.
so I start streaming and working full-time, streaming, working full-time up until COVID. That's when I finally quit my job. And then I had one of my moderators was like, have you ever heard of the Raj show? A streamer named Raj, may he rest in peace. Used to do these dating shows. And, you know, I had a pretty loud personality, and he's like, you'd be funny on this. And I've always been into comedy. I love, like, when I'm done with this, hopefully someday, you know, if I don't just, like, I want to be a stand-up comedian. I think I have enough trauma.
He did pass away, and like a phoenix, Austin Show was born from his ashes. Look at this fucking guy, bro. Stick the Candy Rush for real. Man, shut the fuck up, bitch. Fuck you. Anyway, that's crazy. I mean, we had a very similar, we have a very similar beginning.
Trauma in my life that I could do well at it.
That's what every stand-up comedian needs. Just a little bit of trauma. A lot of it of trauma helps.
Tick all the boxes there, ex-Mormon, dead mom, like all the things, you know? So I watched some of the shows, and I'm like, oh, so they're missing like that person that people hate, right? Because I used to watch The Bachelor too, and you know who gets the most attention on The Bachelor?
The person that people hate.
Exactly. So the first time I go on one of his shows, I pre-write a bunch of roasts about all the girls, and we're in the lobby before the show starts, and I go, hey guys, I'm gonna say some things. I don't mean them. I think you're all great. I don't even know you guys. These are generic. I wrote them before I knew you. Just like, and so I go on the show, and everyone thinks I'm very funny, but they also think I am the
That's
biggest
slicker.
bitch. But I'm gonna play into that.
Sure.
Like, you know, they needed that, and so then I kept getting invited back. People would come to my stream because they were like, oh, let me check this out. But what they didn't realize is that I was playing a character. So they'd come to my stream and they'd be a little confused. But the good thing about that is it was giving myself a funnel.
Austin is responsible for so many of the worst people on the platform getting prominence, and also some of the best. Some of your favorite streamers, if you like, you know, QTCinderella, or even myself. So, you know, that is like me, Ludwig, QT, Misgiff, so many of that, like, XQC, we all, like, basically are from that generation of streamers, I would say, or like our blow up was around that basically the same time. And obviously not every single person that I mentioned got out or got prominence from being on the Austin Show, but me, I would say even Miskiff and also Cutie certainly did.
So I was funneling people from that show, seeing me play this character, to my own channel, and it's helped me. So I slowly got more and more attention, and then was able to introduce them to me as a person, and just kind of went from there.
Was there a moment when you were streaming where you're like, this could be my full-time thing now?
Bruce?
Like I could drop everything else and just go 100% into this?
No.
Not even at this point?
No. I think it's only a matter of time before I quit because I've lost my mind.
So you foresee a future where you are not doing this, and not because of choice, but because you lost your mind?
Yeah. My therapist even has said, she's like, I have never seen an industry more trauma-inducing than this one. We've been swatted. And I've had some pretty traumatic things happen in my life, and I've luckily, up until now, hadn't developed any sort of PTSD, but I have diagnosed PTSD from us getting swatted.
Can you explain what actually happens when you get swatted? So people hear, oh, the SWAT team shows up at your door, and then they just start, they break down the door and start screaming at you.
Yeah. What happens is it's a viewer of some kind that wants to prank the streamer. This used to be just like they would send pizzas to your house or something, And then
while you're live, they get to see the reaction.
Yeah. And so what happens is a viewer will call the police. They will fake a threat of some kind. They'll have gotten the streamer's address. They fake a threat. They usually say they're holding someone hostage or they have a bomb or...
Do you know what they said about you?
Yes. They said they shot their mom with a shotgun and they were going to shoot everyone else in the house. What's crazy is you would think, because you watch all these shows on TV, you'd think they would like track the phone call.
Yeah.
To see if it's in the house that they're calling from.
Check your Insta story, wrong tag. First of all, I don't know why this is relevant, but secondly, I never tagged anyone. So you're talking about I think you're talking about my manager, David, who posted me and Asmongold. My bad, chill. Okay, well, why the fuck did you come in here popping off, dude? Calm down.
They don't do that.
Can they?
I would think. I don't know. The TV says they can.
Hey, SWAT team, I know you're big fans of the show. Just leave a comment below. Let us know if you can.
Can you guys track the phone call, please?
If you can, you should.
Please, yeah. And so I'm about to start my stream. I'm pushing the space bar. I remember it's so vivid. I'm pushing the space bar on my computer to get it to turn on, and I see a laser on my hand. And I think to myself, is that like someone playing with a cat toy? Like, I'm like, because we have roommates, I'm like, maybe one of them's playing with the cats. And that's my first thought. I'm like, cat toy, what the heck? And I turn, and now it's on my stomach. And I'm like, what?
That shit's crazy.
I look up, like literally like this, and we have a big window in front of our kitchen. And that's when I see it, like just all of these lights, and all I see are lights, all I see are guns. And I hear the intercom, this LAPD, come out with your hands up. And the world went silent for a few seconds. Like, I literally thought to myself, I'm dying. Like, this is a sniper rifle on my stomach.
Yeah. And you know it's loaded. You know that they can.
Someone sneezes, you're dead.
Yeah.
You are dead. And so Ludwig is downstairs streaming, and I am frozen. It felt like if you've ever had sleep paralysis, it's sleep paralysis in real life. Like, I'm frozen. So finally, when I have a second to move, I go, and all of our roommates, they had some friends over there playing Smash. And so I'm like, guys, like, turn it off. And they laugh at me. They think I'm like being like, like, turn off the game,
Yeah.
They're like, ah. And I'm like, no, turn it off. We're getting swatted. Because you like know what swatting is. It's just never happened to you. And they're like, oh. And so they turn it off, and I open the door, and I'm like, I can reason with these people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I open the door. I'm like, we're YouTubers, because people don't know what streamers are.
Yeah.
I said, we're YouTubers. This is a prank. Like, I'm trying to de-escalate the situation, at least they don't care. They start yelling at you, just guns everywhere. All you can see is lights and guns. You're just blinded, and you can just see.
Shit.
And they yell at you, hands up. They're just yelling all sorts of different directions at you, and you think anybody flinches and I'm dead. So they get us out one by one. They make us go in a line. Ludwig is still streaming. They're being really mean to me. They're like, stop.
I'm laughing at the fact that you said we're YouTubers. It's so real. No, you have to say that. I remember when I told you, you have to say that. Cops don't fucking know what a Twitch streamer is. They're going to shoot you.
Asking, like, you need to shut up, you need to shut up. Everyone needs to get out of the house. And we're like, okay, we're calling our boyfriend. And so my roommate calls my boyfriend, and he's like, you need to end the stream, come outside. And so he ends the stream really quickly. The person remained on the phone. They see that Ludwig ended his stream, and they said, I'm coming out now, I'm going to shoot. hoping that
They would think it was
they have a
him.
more hostile reaction. And yeah, but our other roommate Slime was also sleeping and had woken up, so him and Slime come out at the same time. But since Slime is the last one out, they think Slime is the problem, so they tackle Slime in front of all of us. They have a gun to his head. You're thinking like, my friend is going to get killed in front of me. This is going to cost a lot in therapy. They leave the door open this whole time. You know, they get us all out. They have to talk to us for quite some time. By the time we get inside, the cat's gone. We can't find the cat anywhere. And so I am sobbing. I'm ballistic at this point. Like, I go out there. I said,
don't think this
please,
was
my
Coots.
cat's gone. Can you help us look? Because they all have these big flashlights.
Yeah.
They're like,
Coots was not around at this point. I think it was one of their other cats, right? I think it was Durs. Yeah.
no, leave us alone. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, you did this to us. They're like, you guys need to get a new job. And that was just the first time. The worst
No,
time.
it was Coots. Lud said so. Coots was around at that point.
And the
Anyway.
thing that has pinpointed where my PTSD comes from is Ludwig had a subathon.
Yeah.
No wonder Slime was so mad on Twitter after. No, that's that's the second time they got swatted. She's talking about the first time they got swatted. Slime posted what he posted about the second time they got swatted. She's talking about the first time they got swatted. The sniper almost killing Slime is from the first time. This is when he said this is the second time they got swatted. He said the first time we got swatted, I got 9 shotguns pointed at me on my knees before the driveway. I thought I was gonna get my head blown off in front of my friends, and they had the audacity to say I was a waste of time every time. Put the gun in your fucking mouth, you worthless pigs. This is well, I guess I don't know how many times they've been swatted technically, but I think maybe 3.
Amazing.
Yes.
Maybe more.
30 days, 24 hours. He's live, but I'm terrified. I'm like, we're definitely gonna get swatted.
And that's going through your mind too. He
The
comes to
whole
you and
time.
says, I'm going to be doing a 30-day live stream.
Yeah.
The first thing you think of is
We just got
30
swatted
days-
a few weeks ago. It's gonna happen. It's
30 days of
on edge.
being afraid.
Yeah, on being terrified. So every single night you would see him go to sleep on stream, I would be awake. I was awake every single night, staring out the window, the whole night, the entire night. The people think I'm lying. No, I would not go to sleep until I saw him wake up. Everyone in the house, I love those boys, but they sleep like rocks.
Are you getting
essentially.
any sleep?
I'm sleeping during the day, and it's a little bit. I'm not doing well. And then finally, it is Easter morning, and it is 4:30 in the morning, and I'm on day 27. I'm exhausted. I'm like, you know what? I can go to sleep. The one time I wake up 5 a.m. to the lights were so bright through my bathroom window. They lit up my entire room. And again, it's that sleep paralysis. I'm frozen in my bed. And I just hear them, this LAP, come out with your hands up, and you're like just, and every single time you walk out there, you think, someone flinches, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's so many guns every single time. They do not do less guns. And so I'm the only one that wakes up, of course. And so I have to go wake up all the roommates, and I walk past a window, and they go berserk on the megaphone. They're like, come here, we're gonna shoot, go out right now. So I have to crawl. I drop down, I have to crawl to pass the window. I get up, my other roommate just woke up, and I'm like, hey, will you go wake up Slime? I'll go wake up Nick. I go and I shake Nick. I go get Ludwig. I walk into his stream room, I turn off his stream. That's what I do, because he's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's a subathon. So I just walk in as casually as I can.
I want to point something out. If a streamer doesn't talk about this kind of thing, there's probably a reason. Okay? No, it's never happened to me. Okay? Why the fuck are you asking? Why the fuck would I admit that if it had happened? Are you fucking stupid? No, seriously. Are you fucking dumb? Why would I say that? Shut the fuck up. Don't ask dumb questions. I'm surprised that, like, you know, I'm surprised when streamers even, it's not a stupid question. It 1,000,000% is a stupid question. Because if you admit that you have been swatted, that means that they have your address. That also creates copycats. Maybe don't fucking tell the streamer what is a stupid question, what's not a stupid question when we're talking about fucking swatting. there is, for the most part, an unspoken rule among streamers to not really talk about this kind of thing. Okay? Usually. Usually. Some of this happened on stream in a way that they could not avoid, which is why she feels comfortable talking about it now. The main reason why Twitch streamers or streamers in general don't talk about it, newsflash, not everyone's a streamer. Okay, but like exercise a little bit of critical thinking. Why would you not want to fucking talk about this kind of thing? Okay? The reason why you wouldn't want to talk about this kind of thing is because a person, when they do this, basically is looking for confirmation of your address being public. Okay? That's it. That's it. Use your brain. That's it. And you are right. At a certain point, LAPD does have notes for that address after repeat offenses. They have a whitelist, as I've talked about it. Okay, the LAPD does have a whitelist. But every single time a call is made, cops still have to follow through, even if you have a whitelist. Now, what ends up happening in that circumstance is up to the watch commander. I talked about this yesterday. I talk about it quite frequently whenever swatting comes up. The watch commander makes an assessment when a call comes in. And if you have a gung-ho watch commander, okay, when you have a gung-ho watch commander, they can still send a SWAT unit there. In most circumstances, they don't once you get whitelisted. But they still got like these crazy fucking gung-ho pieces of shit that burst through their doors before.
Can I just turn off the stream? We go out there, do the whole thing again, and it's the third time they've been here, and some of them are the exact same cops. And they don't think to call us beforehand, they don't think anything, and it's just like, it's just so dark and awful. And then we get inside, Ludwig goes back to his stream, we have to pretend like it's normal. Okay, you can either talk about it and say, hey, we got swatted, this isn't okay, and that person wins. They're validated, they've collected
That's what they want.
That's what they want. Or
Yeah.
you don't talk about it, and they don't know if they did it, and so they keep doing it.
Oh.
But you do talk about it, copycats.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it, people keep trying. So it's
Yeah.
this weird, you don't know the right thing. And so at this point in our career, we're not talking about it. And so Ludwig, as soon as he can, goes back on his subathon. I'm with him, and it's Easter, and I have this Easter basket, which I made for him, and I was like, sorry, I was trying to surprise him with the Easter basket. I hit the wrong cord, sorry. And like my face is all puffy because I've just been sobbing and having a panic attack and whatever. And that gets posted on LSF when I ended the stream. Live stream fails. It's a Reddit that is the worst, of course. And it's a hate thread about QTCinderella is such a jealous girlfriend. She turned off his stream because she needs attention. She's such an attention whore. Like, because they don't know we got swatted.
Yeah.
They think I just went in there and turned off his stream because I'm a bitch. Because of course.
What, you want to ruin his streak or something?
Of course. Because that's the only thing that could be going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's
so
a lot
then-
to unpack there.
Exactly. So right after, I go through this traumatic thing, I now get a hate thread about me. And it's like.
And you can't even talk about it. You can't talk about it during the duration. Now that like some time has passed between the events, like now you bring it up in a fucking conversation. But at the time, it's just the worst thing ever, because like your day is fucked up. You have to continue going through it like nothing happened. It just sucks. You know what I mean? And they're doing it, and the person who's doing it is doing it specifically for that reason. They want to fuck your day up. They want to get you killed for the most part. And, that you can't make that. You can't let them win. You just act like it's not a real thing.
Wow. And so ever since then, a car drives by our house. Stomach drops. A light is outside our house. Stomach drops. I hear helicopters. Stomach drops. There have been times I wake up in the middle of the night, shaking Ludwig, saying, we're getting swatted, we're getting swatted. We're not.
And it's just like.
It's just PTSD. It's just nothing. It's nothing.
And it's that powerlessness,
Yeah, I can't
that
do
feeling that
anything.
it could happen at any moment, and that just some random person changed the entire course of your mental health
Yeah.
and you in many ways.
People don't think about it. They think like, oh, this is a funny prank. No, people have
Yeah.
died from getting swatted.
Yeah.
The amount of trauma that you're creating from this prank it's not simple. It's not haha funny. It's miserable. You're changing people's lives as they know it. Like, I don't know when I will be the same. I don't know when I will be able to sleep through the night. I don't. And the option is quit your job, move, do this. And it's like, wow, how can you live with yourself and do something like that? Because haha funny.
By the way, it's a super serious crime, and people have gone to prison for it. Police don't like exhausting their resources for no reason. So yeah, and people have been caught, and people have gone to federal prison for it. So, you know, it is technically attempted murder. Precisely what it is. And it's a good thing that they go to prison for it. It's really fucked up. But of course, cops are not the greatest investigators, and sometimes they don't catch them. It's awful because, yeah. It's awful because, like, and these motherfuckers will do it, like, it's usually one guy doing it to everybody. You know what I mean? It's just really fucked up because everyone involved in this kind of sucks. Because the cops are like a force of nature. You know what I mean? We act like this is a hurricane. You know what I mean? Like, it's not people behind the trigger. Like, they are people. They should behave like human beings, but they don't. If it's one dude, then what do you mean copycats? No, I'm saying, like, one dude is responsible for like 50, just like this guy, before he gets caught. And then there are other people who are like, oh, I can do this too. Except you do get caught, and you will go to fucking federal prison. Is this only an American thing? I think they do it in other places as well, but like it's not the same. All right, there's different rules of engagement. I work under DHS, can't say what, but you will get caught. It's mainly a timing thing. These apps that spoof your number legit send us all the info almost immediately upon request. Yeah. It's more so a matter of like how involved or how interested the detectives are. Obviously, when they end up killing someone, they'll actually fucking go out and catch it. If you are a high profile individual who makes up a big stink with a lawyer, they'll go out of their ways to fucking catch it. But yeah. $20 isn't enough. 20 years seems light. It's murder. It's the same. It's the same sentence as a murder. That's why he got 20 years.
don't know. And that's just what happens in this industry. There needs to be something in place, because there are things in place for Britney Spears. Oh, we got a call for Britney Spears' house again. You know, but we are micro niche internet celebrities, but we are who this is happening to most.
You kind of have the downsides of a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know, you have people trying
not even a millionaire.
to swat you and all that stuff, but without some of the upsides, like having so much money that you could afford your own personal security,
Exactly.
or the proper measures to be put into place so you don't have to be the one watching over your house every single night because you're afraid that you're going to get swatted.
Yeah.
And now I feel like that PTSD is probably elevated because you put in 27 night shifts in, and then the one time that you decide that you're going to take a break because it's probably fine is when that kind of thing happens. So now in your head it's like, I have to be constantly at full awareness. If I'm not, something bad will happen.
Well, the sad thing is I'm also diagnosed OCD. And so that pattern, because when you're OCD, you really grasp onto pattern behaviors. You live in this constant state of patterns.
I mean, it can happen to a lot of real celebs too. We just don't hear about it because they don't want to encourage it, like you said. No. No. You usually don't get swatted when you're not live. That's it. Celebrities aren't live. They're not live streaming all the time. The reason why the celebrities are less accessible than the streamers, and the point is, for a lot of people, the reason why they do it is because they want to get the feedback. That's why I said it's like there's a varying degree of involvement that chatters have with the streamer, and swatting is like the most insane extension of that. Yeah. Celebrities mostly deal with stalking, which is a whole nother subject. Yeah. Well, streamers deal with that too, for the record. It's also because they aren't sharing personal stories 8 hours a day. Sharing personal stories 8 hours a day has nothing to do with it. You're just live in the process. That's it. You could fucking share personal stories all day, every day in your podcast if you wanted to. But as long as you're not fucking sharing it live, you know, it's not going to happen. They're like streakers. When they stopped showing streakers on the NFL, the numbers on streakers went down exponentially. Yeah. A lot of celebrities don't have like massive private security details, okay? It's not a thing that celebrities have.
Make you calm almost. If I'm afraid of flying. At one point, I had 72 things I had to do before I would get on a plane. I had to have my sewing kit. I had to have my mismatched socks. I had to have a button in my bag. I have a purple string that I had to have tied around. I had to wear a certain jacket. I have to wear I've gotten that down to 8 with lots of therapy, but I have to have mismatched socks. I have to all these things. I thrive off of patterns. And so when something bad happens, when I should have been doing my pattern, that's a whole other mess.
Right.
So yeah, it is. So even subconsciously now, I have insomnia. I don't sleep. And that makes mental health issues, depression, anxiety even worse. I have never been more depressed in my entire life. And I've dealt with my mother dying. I've dealt with I've had horrible things happen than this past year. And I genuinely believe it's the repercussions from my PTSD of not being able to sleep, not being able to, and all of that on top of it. And it's so sad because there's so much that I love in this job. There really is. And it's just like, but how long can I do it?
Yeah, now I see why you're like, I won't be doing this forever.
It's sad, and like we'll see how it goes. It's not anytime soon, but it is just, I don't know when the breaking point will be, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
And it's pretty wild that from the outside, this is your most successful year of all time, ever.
Yeah.
But yet your mental health, because of all the downsides, has just built up over time to have you in would you say you've been in a dark place this
Oh,
past year?
I've never, and not to use this as like drama, I've never been more suicidal in my entire life. And for anyone who's ever had like suicidal dark thoughts, it's not like, it's more like a thought that scares you. It comes in your brain and
Yeah.
you're like, where did that come from?
I think when people hear
Where
that
did that come
word,
from?
they think that means like, ooh, that's desirable.
Yeah.
But it
No,
doesn't mean,
it's scary. It's this very scary thing.
even
where
if it's
like,
something that you don't want, it's still a
Exactly.
thought that pops up, and you're like, why is that thought there? And then you kind of get caught up on that thought too. Like, why does that mean something about me that I don't know?
Exactly. It's so bad, and a lot of people see that, and like even the cynics on the internet, oh, they're just saying that to drama bait
For
or
attention.
for attention, and it's like
Yeah.
no, it's
When you're a Twitch streamer, one of the things that you like, when you're a Twitch streamer, one of the things that you fucking get used to doing is like qualifying everything for the most cynical, like awful person is going to misconstrue whatever the fuck you're saying regardless. And like you can tell it's like a very unique speech pattern almost. That's why after revealing that she's had suicidal ideation, she's like, well, people are going to say that it's because like I'm because I'm looking for attention. It's crazy. It's crazy that like your brain breaks in that way. Because no matter what you say, it's like it's basically like dealing with internet trolls on Twitter every single day for 8 hours at a time. That's what it is. And you guys see that all the time, not just the streamer thing, to be honest. No, it's just something that you observe with people that have been online for an extremely long period of time. And streamers are extremely online. You know what I mean? It's basically something that you just constantly have to fucking qualify and justify. Unlike the top of the hour ad break, which I don't have to fucking qualify at all. And I just serve it to you. And I fucking tell you that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And I tell you, if you no longer want to see those fucking ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub. You can't even open up and be genuine as a woman without people thinking you have other motives. Yeah, 100%. Matt NLT, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. That's how it goes. BS, thank you for the 14 gifted subs. Weird number. Allowing 14 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. And Hassan, FBI handler, thank you. Shouts out to the FBI. Shouts out to my FBI handler. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
it's just
I gotta
it's
pee.
a
I'll be back.
genuine thing that happens to a lot of people, and people haven't normalized it, and that's why there's a difference between suicidal thoughts and suicidal tendencies.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. Even if I'm the most depressed thing in the world, I love life. I don't want to die. I don't want those things. And so it's very frustrating when that happens. And it just comes from you're deteriorated. You're so depleted.
And you're literally getting very little sleep.
And your brain is bombarding you. And you're like, that's not nice.
And I do think that you should take a moment at some point to acknowledge how you really are changing the landscape of what streaming is, what Twitch means, because you're putting together these events and including so many people and making this idea of collaboration be something that's celebrated.
Yeah.
And especially in-person collaboration, there's a little bit less of that, and that's bringing everyone
It's
together.
been really cool to watch other people do it too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people have said like, hey Kitty, you really inspired me to do this. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, me? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just hope, I miss most about my jobs talking around the water cooler. We don't get that in streaming. You don't get any camaraderie. Is that how you say that word?
Camaraderie?
Camaraderie?
Yeah.
And so,
Camaraderie is.
Camaraderie.
I've heard that too.
so I'm hoping that as a community, people can just get nicer, because even in this industry, over the past year, you've seen some drama that's just insidious. If people were just nicer, they knew each other more, they were human to each other, then hopefully some of that goes away.
What excites exciting thing you have upcoming besides the streamer award?
Thank you, Indica Jones.
Will be for sure.
Is this an announcement?
Yeah. I'm doing the Master Baker.
The Master Baker.
Yeah.
At a show.
Innuendo intended. It is my series on Twitch that I'm doing. It's going to be a 7-day competition with 7 streamers. They're going to receive a category of like a baked good, so brownies.
Yeah.
24 hours in advance. They have to learn that. Then they have to show up, make it, no recipe.
Oh shit! They have to memorize a recipe.
Yeah. Someone gets eliminated each day.
Chat, a lot of streamers go through what QTCinderella is talking about, even if they might not be so open about it. Part of the reason why people don't want to be open about it, and it takes a lot of bravery to be open about it, is because anything and everything that you do and say will be used against you. You know what I mean? And any kind of like opening, people use any kind of weakness that they perceive, people use against you all the time. Because like the unfortunate reality is that we are profoundly privileged people, we are profoundly lucky, fortunate people. But having said that, there's a lot of resentment. Like there's so much resentment towards streamers because of like how, I guess, close to the average Joe streamers are, because it kind of like destroys the perception that like celebrities that are often deified are just like normal humans. But streamers, you know, are normal humans. You spend all day, every day with them. You know what I mean? Like Chris Hemsworth is no different than you, right? He's not. I mean, he's shredded. He looks good. But basically, you kind of live with the recognition that like all streamers are exactly the same as you. Okay? But they hit the fucking lottery and they got really, really lucky, right? And I think that creates that basically creates this perception that like that generates this like animosity, because it's like unearned. Because like who the fuck should be this lucky when you yourself aren't, right? And I think that's why people have this additional layer of resentment. Some people can combat it. Some people just like you a lot and they don't even think about it that way, right? But that's why I think there's a difference between streamers and like other types of content creators. Low barrier of entry in streaming? There is a low barrier of entry, certainly, yeah. Like, it is wild, though. Like, it is interesting to think about, like, you know, you're constantly putting yourself out there. You work wild amounts of hours in comparison to other forms of entertainment. I'm not comparing it right now to, like, someone working in the service industry, of course, right? And in comparison to other forms of the entertainment industry, you're like under a microscope 24/7. And basically that creates this like layer of resentment that people that otherwise like stan fucking BTS don't have. They have a layer of resentment for you. They don't even have it for like YouTubers in many instances any longer, but they have it for streamers. Not gonna lie, I really didn't like you when I first tuned into the stream, and after 3 years of watching, I still don't like your ass. I mean, it's the same as, yeah, it's the same as Mr. Beast. That's why I was talking about that. Where it's like, watch infinitely worse types of content than what Mr. Beast generates, but you are extremely critical of Mr. Beast. Why? Because Mr. Beast is just some fucking guy. He's not Ryan Seacrest. You know what I mean? Ryan Seacrest is held to a different standard than Mr. Beast, even though Ryan Seacrest is like, you know, footprint on this planet has been infinitely worse. You mean like your content? What? Yeah. Is Ryan Seacrest still a relevant guy? I mean, Ryan Seacrest is like one of the most responsible individuals for the Kardashians. So I'd say his relevance transcends beyond his own like on-camera presence. Yeah, it's envy-based because you're in closer proximity to average people than mega celebs are. It's more realistic, therefore it hurts more not to be a popular streamer versus a popular celeb. Yeah. That's what it is. The fear we've seen in Cheddar's tonight is hilarious and so good. Yeah. Anyway.
That's
The
dope.
final round will be a
What is it about doing what you do that brings you the most joy?
it is the bringing people together. It gives me purpose. It's the only thing that currently gives me purpose is bringing people together, doing new, cool, exciting things. Like girls' trip that we did, what the purpose of that was trying to elevate women on the platform. You don't see that many women streamers together in one place ever. And that's why I do it. It gives me purpose. It gives me purpose to see people come together. What about your wiki feet?
What about it?
How is it? What's your rating?
It's pretty good. It was a 4.91, just up to 4.93. Well, I'm posting I spent the day with Barefooters episode today.
What is a barefooter?
Someone who does not wear shoes unless they absolutely have to.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
So you showed your toesies today.
I did show this little piggy, this little piggy, this little piggy, this little piggy, and this little
Whoa.
piggy.
My feet are messed up.
Really?
This was a
Why?
great
Yeah.
interview.
Oh, there's I don't know what happened to them.
Well, cramming them into small shoes? Or
I
what?
guess so. I don't know. Maybe it was my church shoes. They're like, my toes are like,
They overlap?
they're so overlapped and like
Yeah.
this and just funky. And I love my wiki feet because it's just like they're just roast. Like people are like, I have never seen toes like this.
What's your rating?
I think it was like 3.3. It's one of the worst I've ever seen.
Evil!
But I'm like proud of it. I'm like proud it's so bad. My feet are messed up.
Well, this was a great interview. Yeah, I love QTCinderella. She's awesome.